Welcome back to Irish Strength, and we've got 2 weeks now until official Strongman Ireland Open Championships going on, which is Giants Live qualifier. We've got Jack Harkin, who's competing on the day. Thanks very much for joining me, Jack.
Thanks for having me, Mark. How are you keeping?
I'm not too bad now, not too bad.
Just you made it down here all right.
Just about. I just about found it. Now we're in your wonderful training studio here.
That's brilliant. Now you get lots of fucking good training in here, so you do, you know. So,
And
Jesus, Matty, how are you getting on?
you've got your own barman here as well.
Look at, we pay him well.
There's your pint now, Jack.
Cheers, Matty. Thank you.
I'm going to get me on there, lads.
Will you get out of the video, Matty?
I'm fucking thirsty, Mark.
He has to be in every video we do. So, the diet is obviously going very well. You seem very nervous. Is that why you're having a pint?
On pint, to say to say the least. So it is. Richard Scott looking after me diet says he loves the old pints of Guinness. So you know, nerves. What would you be nervous about?
How are you feeling, Bert?
Feeling good, feeling great at the moment, feeling strong, feeling fit. So yeah, just excited to get competing.
And the events, they fairly suit you, looking at the way you're training and looking at your previous competitions.
Yeah, no, they definitely do suit me. They would be good events for me. I suppose a max log, deadlift reps, sandbags and maul sandbags, stones. I suppose yoke's the only iffy one, and it's not that bad either. So,
does it actually help you that it's a heavier yoke, or would you even prefer heavier? Or?
Oh, heavy yoke definitely suits a bit better. So it does, but nobody's going to be really fast with it, like you know. So. I definitely say it would be a good thing that it's so heavy.
And the fact that we've got a competition here, like obviously before COVID they were trying to get this up and running, but now that you're seeing the route to Giants Live and over to the States for World's Strongest Man, how exciting is that to be two competitions away from?
Oh sure, it's brilliant. So it's great that it's actually on and happened, like you're saying with COVID and stuff. The last couple of years it just never came together. So now that is on, and it's bringing the best lads out in the country to compete for that spot at Britain's Strongest Man. It's brilliant.
And the lineup, how are you feeling about the lineup? It's obviously pretty much as strong of a lineup as we could hope for.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I suppose the only one missing would be Pa. We don't know if Pa's doing it or not. He could turn up on the day, but it's a strong lineup. I suppose the main person I'd be concerned about is Killian Groom. You know, Daniel McElroy was another person, but like he's after pulling out. So yeah, just Killian's the main man I'd be concerned about. And even still, like I wouldn't get too worried about what other people are doing. Like you know, I just stick to my own stuff and just focus on what I'm at.
Is that the target? Obviously, is that first place?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
First place or nothing else.
Waste the time otherwise.
Carried out there. Yeah.
Is there an event that hasn't gone great in training, or has everything gone to plan?
Everything's gone to plan so far. Touch wood, it keeps going that way. But no, everything has gone good. Don't want to get ahead of myself now or anything, but there's nothing that's gone bad. There's been no bad days either training wise. So you know, I'm feeling good. Feeling it's like shit. What's happening here? You know, but no, feeling all right. Like yeah.
Now, there's some athletes that will obviously have less experience. We'll make sure and give you time to drink your pint. There will be athletes that have a little bit less experience. There'll be athletes that are that little bit older. With yourself, the one thing that people have sort of mentioned is that you've sort of taken a little bit of time away from some of the big comps since obviously Ireland's in 22. Do you feel like that's gonna affect you, or you know, has that bothered you at all?
Hasn't bothered me at all, really. I suppose like I didn't really have much to compete with. I suppose at the Opens here in Ireland, we're kind of limited for choice. You know, the Matty puts on the Strom Cup or the Cerberus Cup or whatever it could be called next year. Cup of some description.
Depending. Yeah. There's sponsors out there. Get in touch with
whoever
GSP.
Wants to sponsor the comp. Like Matty puts on that, and it's a heavy comp. And then you'll have you don't have much else if this isn't put on. Like I do qualifier for OSG Worlds and stuff like that, but you know, it's going to America to compete at a spot at Britain's Strongest Man. Like it doesn't really make sense to me, so it doesn't, you know. So it's great that this comp's been put on by Official Strongman and Dave Warner running it. Like so, you know, on the other side of that, there's Official Strongman Giants Live, and it's a spot at Brits. It's bringing the best lads out, like, you know. So
I spoke about this with yourself before. How difficult is it for an open athlete when there's so few competitions? Like if you're in the UK, there's a lot of competitions cropping up, and same with America. Whereas in Ireland, because there's so few, is it hard to get on a proper run?
it definitely is. Like, you know, it's a bit of a bollocks. Like, you know, you don't have anything, so you don't. You've this, you've the cup, you've maybe Glens Ireland's if you're into that sort of thing. I don't know what else. Like, you know, what do you do?
Don't put that
Do. Yeah.
Moving on. I'm saying, Jesus.
That's a strong point, man.
Yeah, we'll blame the Guinness there. Put me off there now.
Yeah, then you do a qualifier for OSG Worlds or Europes, because you have Europes now, you know, which did line up to be a great comp. When I got over there, because Jade was competing there, when I got over there, I was kind of like, oh, would like to have been competing at this too, like, you know. But you know, my priority was set on this comp because we had got word that was happening, you know. So like that was what the focus was set on, you know. So.
And for next year, I suppose it all depends on how this comp goes. But would you be looking at OSG Europes, and obviously if finance is there to try and go to OSG Worlds as well?
Yeah, like you said, it all depends on this comp. You know, you win this, you go to Brits. Things can snowball fairly quickly from there, like, you know. But like if it doesn't go to plan, you'll be looking at you know, Europes and stuff, like OSG Europes, and then obviously, like you said, if money allows it, go to Worlds and stuff too. Like there's always that route. But like I'd say, if it doesn't happen this year, where say I win this comp and get to Brits, I'd be just looking at doing the comp again next year. You know, like Worlds, like, you know, you're going to America to qualify for comp that's in fucking England.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't see the fucking point in it. Like so.
And one of the things coming up in this competition is that with body weight, there's a very broad field, and you would be one of the heavier athletes.
Probably I'm the heaviest, aren't
I would say you're probably, yeah, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
There's been one or two athletes in the interviews that have sort of the lighter athletes that have gone, no, it's not really gonna affect. How do you see it? Do you see it as more of a positive? You probably do. That's why you've gone to this body weight. But do you see it as a huge benefit, or?
But like lighter athletes under something like a 420 yoke, like it's not going to be too kind to their body. You know, like a bigger fella is going to cope with them bigger weights. But they just have the frame for it. Like someone bigger has the frame for it. Myself or Killian, you know, Daniel McRae. Like he's not doing it now, but like they just cope with them weights better. You know. It's not going to be as fucking like a yoke. It's not going to be as crushing on someone that's 6'4" and 150 or 60 kilos compared to someone that's 5'8", 9 and I don't know 110 or 105 or whatever. Like, you know. Yeah. So like it has disadvantages. You know, maybe speed mightn't be a thing that's on my side, but on a heavy comp that's only over 10 meters, speed isn't going to come into it. Like, you know, where lads are struggling picking things off the ground, they're going to rip them and gone before they even know what's happened. And obviously that brings us to the stones, which would be probably your favourite event out of the whole lot. That or log, I suppose, yeah. How are you feeling on those two events? Do you think the win is basically in the bag, or I don't want to jinx you or anything, but yeah, I'd like to think stones is mine anyway, so I would. Then log, I just look at there's a couple good pressers in it, so there's, you know, so you'd have to you have to see what's happening and see what you need to do to get most points out of it. Like, you know, if somebody that's going to press a big weight but mightn't necessarily, you know, be up there in the rest of the events, you don't really necessarily need to beat them on the log, you know. Yeah. You know, you just do enough to get most points that you need for that event. And now we did have a couple of questions came in on Instagram. Yeah, more sandwich questions. More sandwich questions. Well, no, I think we covered that quite conclusively at Worlds when we were talking about it for an hour. But two questions came in. I'm going to lump them in together. Okay. So, and you can figure out which person. I'll give you the two people that sent them in. Oh, you can probably figure out. So yeah. So the first one is down there typing on his phone. The first question was, why are you just so great?
And that's the first question. And equally, I'm going to follow that up with a second question is, why is he just so annoying? Now, one person is Saoirse Foy that sent in a question, and the other is your fiancée, Jade Hoare. Who do you think sent in which question?
I actually don't know.
Oh, God.
Yeah, because it could have been either of them.
I genuinely thought that was going to be an easy one for him to answer, but...
Jade probably asked why it was so great. I'd hope, anyway.
Well, I think to make sure that she's still your fiancée at the end of the day, I'm not going to say anything.
I thought you meant these were serious questions.
These were serious, yeah.
Something about strict logging or something.
Yeah.
Jesus, come on.
We'll go to the next question, so which was your calorie intake, which is probably something you get asked quite a lot.
Yeah, I do, yeah.
What, coming up to a comp, it obviously probably increases, I would imagine. Or do you just hold the same calorie intake the whole time?
Well, I was looking after my own nutrition there for an awful long time, and it was the same thing every day, or roughly. Well, I wasn't really listening to you, was I? That's why Richard's doing it now. Yeah, Jade was making faces at me when I said I was sorting it out.
Jade is a fantastic nutritionist. Follow her on Instagram.
Jade is a great nutritionist, to be fair, but I wasn't fucking listening to her. It's like, it's like if she was coaching me, I wouldn't listen to her. If I was coaching her, she wouldn't listen to me.
I think we'll get rid of this.
No, don't mess with my Guinness.
Yeah, I'm not brave enough to do that.
But yeah, no, like I was eating, like I had an idea of what I need to eat. I was eating the same thing every day, roughly, and I was, I was eating over 6,000 calories. So I was then, but then I was chatting to Killian about nutrition, and then Killian was just on about Richard there that was doing his, and he said he'd have a word with him for me, and now Richard's looking after mine, Richard Scott, and I'm only eating over 5,000 calories now, so I'm 5'3" or 4" or something like that, and then there's less obviously on rest days and stuff like that, but at the moment, like, I'm eating less food, I'm performing better, I'm recovering better, it's everything all around.
Is the body weight dropping because you've dropped the calories, or is it still
body weight went up, so it did.
Went up?
Yeah. Surprise. I got leaner and I got fucking heavier, so yeah.
And for any athletes that are out there that would sort of look at yourself and go, well, that's where I want to be at, is it important to have a nutritionist? Is it important to sort of have a trainer rather than trying to do it all yourself?
Like, it takes a lot of the thought process out of it for yourself, like, especially like with training, you have a plan. Like, you go in and you're doing it yourself, you're going to be you could be maxing out fucking week after week, or lifting stupid things, or you're not listening to your body, where there's program in place for you to follow, and someone that's at it a lot longer than you knows what they're doing, like, it knows, like, different people, different training styles and stuff might suit them better, or different techniques and stuff like that, so it can take someone looking from the outside in to see that, so it takes a lot of the thought away from it. The more than the nutrition, like, you can do everything yourself if you want to, but like, it's not optimal, and then especially with the food, someone's looking after your food, you know what you're eating fucking for the next fucking 7 days, like, it's a no-brainer. You get your shopping done, you know what you're eating, you're going to work, it's easy.
You say it's easy. I do have a recollection of wandering around Tesco's for an hour looking for cereal bars in Edinburgh.
Well, that's fucking their fault, because it was all laid out Irishways, so it was. You go to Dunn's and it's all, everything's where it should be, and Tesco here, out there, it's a disaster, so it was.
Tesco UK, I don't think you're going to want to sponsor Jack, probably at this moment.
I do myself no favours with sponsors here. But like, food-wise, you don't need to be eating fucking 7,000-8,000 calories. Anybody tells you they're eating that amount of food, they're fucking lying, so they are, because I tell you, it's a lot of food.
Oh god, yeah. When you get to even 5,000,
well, that's a lot.
It's a struggle. You're forcing yourself to eat.
Yeah, now the pints of Guinness make it easier to get the calories in, so I'll tell you that much.
Has this been a big part of your training program? Or is it just the influence of Matty being up here today?
Oh, bad influence. He's trying to sabotage me here, so he's the cunt. Wouldn't give me sandbags, and said now he's after fucking filling me pints of Guinness.
It didn't seem that hard to convince you, to be honest.
Oh, look at you. My arm's easily twisted, so it is.
The next question that came in was, and I'm going to expand a little bit on it. Somebody asked, how do you psych yourself up for a big lift? But equally, how do you psych yourself up for the big competition?
Some things I can't say there, so there's not. Psyching yourself up for big lifts and stuff. Yeah, like I get very hyped for certain lifts, so I do, and sometimes it can backfire on you. You know, you might get hyped up too quickly. You know, like say I take a log for example, and you have a heavy single to hit. You could get hyped up, and you know you could have all your energy mentally spent before you even get near to that weight that you have intended on hitting. You know, like so you need to be smart. Like in a sense, nearly you need to kind of take the foot off the gas a little bit as in regards to hype and stuff like that, and you kind of just chilled and relaxed, and then until maybe your last couple, maybe your last two warm-ups before that big lift that you're hitting, that's when you want to turn on that switch, you know, that you want to, like, it's game time, let's go, like, you know, like, it's very easy for me to get hyped up, but like I need to control it.
Yeah, you see at competitions quite a lot where people are nearly too hyped and they're not completely focused. Something could go wrong, or they just miss out on a down signal or something like that.
They get too excited, they get too ahead of themselves, they're not focused, they're not listening to the referee, you know, and then you could get too hyped up on your first lift of a competition, and then like you're just dead for the rest of it.
Yeah.
You know, or you stay too hyped for too long and your first three events could fly. So it could, because you're so hyped up, and the next thing, your last two events, you're gone. You know, you're not able to get yourself hyped up. You don't know what's going on. You're spent at that stage, like, you know. So you need to be able to go up and come down, but not come down too much, as that's going to be too hard to get back up to that level. Come down to a controlled level where you know, like, right, next event, let's go.
And I again don't want to jinx you. Where's the wood I can touch here? But if you did get to Britain's Strongest Man, how do you think you would stack up against the athletes over there?
Jesus.
It's a tough question, and it's probably not something you've even thought about.
Yeah, well, like, good prep and stuff, anything can happen in strongman, like, you know. I like to go out there and think I could hold my own, but like I'm not fucking going to be deluded and think I'm going to go out there and beat these lads at the same time, like, you know. I'm going to come out there and come first time you do Brits. Just maybe if they all drop dead, you know. Maybe if Matty
always look on the bright side.
If Matty planned the events for it now or something, you know.
Yeah.
That should probably kill me too, so yeah, I don't know. I like to think I'd go out and hold my own. I wouldn't put in a bad performance, so I wouldn't, but you know, you'd be definitely aiming to get into the top 5, like, you know. It's
probably one of those things where you don't know until you've actually been there. Like in the second year, then you can start thinking where you could come.
That's it too. Like, it's a different experience altogether, going out there and competing at Britain's Strongest Man with 10,000 people there screaming, like, you know, lights and the whole lot. Like, it's a totally different thing to competing at any of the comps that's going on here. Like, it's just, there are not that many spectators coming to them, or it's not in that big of a venue, you know. Whereas at least, like, there's comps now here where, like, I know I'm have to mention Matty there a couple of times, but he's running comps at a fast pace now, whereas comps out there, Giants Live and stuff now, they're getting quicker and quicker, like, so, you know, it's not going to be a complete shock to the system, you know, so.
And going to one of the lifts specifically, the log, you're famously one of the people that strict presses your log.
Yeah, legs are for walking, that's why.
Legs are for walking, legs are for chairs, either one. Do you think it gets to a certain weight where that can sort of hamper you a little bit, where you don't have the impact of the legs coming in?
No, because like I push press axle or anything else, so I do. I'm a better strict presser on a log than I am push presser. I suppose like I haven't push pressed a log for a long time, and I recently went back push pressing, so I just need more time under heavier load push pressing. But I am stronger at strict pressing, so I am, and yeah, strict pressing feel very spicy at the moment too, like, so.
It must be quite difficult to, once you've gotten used to strict pressing, to actually try and go back to using the legs, or have you found it quite easy when you've tried?
No, it is difficult, I'm not going to fucking lie. Like, it's a totally different lift, so the way you clean the log to the way the log sits on your chest they're totally different, so they are, you know. So like, even the way that you have the log angle on the pads in front of you is different, so it is. So like, you could regard the two of them as two different lifts altogether, you know. So yeah, you do need time on both of them to perfect them, like, so. Yeah, strict press is better though.
No,
it's cooler too.
It does look impressive, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
You have recently thankfully, started doing some commentating.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
How are you finding the commentating? Do you enjoying it or?
I enjoy it. I don't know about the people listening to me.
Oh no, they don't. They've been messaging me.
I was thinking that, alright, yeah. But no, commentating's good crack, so it is, yeah. It wasn't something now I ever saw myself doing, and next thing when it happened, I was like, oh jeez, what am I going to do? What am I going to talk about? You literally naturally do it, like, I suppose for someone that has such an interest in strongman and stuff, it's easier for them sort of people to get into it and find a bit of a flow with it, like, but yeah, like it's a bit of crack. You kind of have to watch what you say.
You watch what you say?
That's a lie. Yeah, well, you're meant to watch what you say. So yeah, that's probably a bit better, but
I think this is the one competition where, because it's tied into Giants Live, I might be lucky that you're not on the commentary table. They might have something to say with all the curse words, so maybe it's a good thing you're competing.
I don't know, they might enjoy it.
They might.
A bit of reality for them.
Bit of spice.
Yeah,
bit of spice,
yeah, a bit
there.
of normality, so I think it's normal anyway.
We have had a couple of interviews with different athletes that have felt quite confident in their abilities, and same way as you're feeling quite confident. Is it important to be that confident, or can you be a little bit too overconfident at times?
Yeah, like you do need to be confident. So you do, like, Jesus, like if you have doubts in your mind about you, if you're walking up to a log or an axle, deadlift or anything in fucking front of you, and you're not confident, you're as well off sat on the couch, so you're drinking pints of Guinness. So you might as well go home. There's no point in being there. But then at the other hand of it too, like if you're too confident, you go in there and shite yourself too. Like you're going to get your arse handed to you. Thinking you don't have to go out and work. Like And which I think a few lads are thinking by the sounds of things.
It's going to be very interesting on the day, because I think everyone has weaknesses. There are certain events that will suit certain people. So I think of the athletes that are there are 4 or 5 that if everything just sits their way and goes their way, they could be getting very close to that first place. You will probably disagree. Oh no, it's mine. But
well, they have to look at my arse in first place, so they will. They might. Second is close to first, isn't it? Yeah.
In all seriousness, who's your pick for the podium? Where did you see everybody?
So yeah, prediction.
What's your top 3?
Me and Killian, first or second. Third, I don't know.
This is a tough one. There are a lot of big
I
names.
would have said straight away without thinking. I would have said me, Killian, or Daniel McElroy. Fucking top 3. So without Daniel there, I don't know. Maybe Dean Doyle.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's well rounded, so he's like they're not bad events for him.
And he has been consistently performing through the last few years.
Definitely, yeah. Just like even a sense looking at open lads, like because Dylan's an open as well. Who else is there that's open? Jur, I suppose, falls into that category. I just think maybe Jur might be just lacking a little bit statically. But that would be my thinking on top 3 now without Daniel McElroy there. I'd slide Dean Doyle in there. Dean for third, me and Killian for first or second in some form. And
interestingly, you don't have to go too much into this. If Pa was to turn up, would that prediction change?
Yeah, it'd be me, Killian and Pa top 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
No particular order.
Yeah,
no
do you
particular order.
No,
anything could happen. Obviously, you're going to fucking want to see yourself in the first place, you do. But like, even between me and Killian, as 2 of the bigger lads there now at the moment, like I can't fucking put me or Killian first or second. Like, with Pa there, Pa performs. Like he technically should be able to win, but he's not going to get it easy. Tell you that much for anybody that's there, So it's going to be a good comp.
And the sport overall in Ireland, obviously we've seen quite a progression in recent years, and Matty's a huge part behind that, bringing on. He keeps saying he is. I don't know. That's what he says on Instagram and everything. But sure, who knows?
He says it, yeah.
He doesn't want Instagram. So he doesn't. That's the most I've ever seen him use his phone.
Yeah.
Well, somebody ring him there so he'll throw the phone away. Oh shit, someone's trying to contact me. Could you look? It takes 4 to 5 business days to reply.
It usually takes 2 weeks for me, so I've got preferential treatment here. How do you see the sport? Like, you've been in it for quite a long time now. Are you excited? Well, relatively compared to some of us. Are you excited to see how quick it's actually progressing in the last year or so?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's definitely moving in the right direction, especially with the lighter weight, in the weight, well, lighter, I'd say the weight class and stuff like that. It's definitely progressing fucking fierce quick, because like there's a couple of world class fucking athletes in the on the 105s, 90s, 80s. Fucking like you have Kyle Scott there in the 80s. You have Gavin McNamee there in fucking the 90s. You have Sean Diver and Matthew McKeegan in fucking the 105s, like, and now there's a 120 fucking category coming along there. So like, and Sean Diver was 105. He's moving up to that. He's moving up to open, and next thing this 120 thing popped up. So like looks like a very good category for him. Like, you know, like I definitely is progressing that way. The weight class. I don't think there's a lot of opens in general in the country. You know, like, no, it's not that the open like competition side of things isn't progressing, but like there's not that many of us. You know, like, who the fuck is running around at 6'4" and 150 kilos? That, like, you know, nobody is. Nobody's able to. You know, like, you have a very select few people that are able to run around at that sort of weight and carry it well and be able to compete and be competitive, like, you know. So maybe that side of things be a bit slower at the moment, but like, it definitely is moving in a total. It's moving in the right direction. Even the women's side of things, like, fucking. There's way more women competing, so there's the moment than fellas, like, you know. So
all areas of the sport seems to be growing at the same. Even the natural side of the sport as well has really come up.
In Edinburgh there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the Worlds, which is still up. So if anybody does want to go back and watch that Natural Strongman's World Finals, I'll put the link up for that.
That good, it killed my Jeep, so it did.
Oh, that's what killed the Jeep. I was wondering.
No, it wasn't that in the end.
that probably a little bit, but still.
Imagine that happened. I was out in Edinburgh.
That wouldn't have been good. It was all my equipment in the back. I think it was the bloody problem. I did get a couple of questions in, because some people mentioned that there was some names that they would have expected to see at this competition.
Yeah.
And they were asking, well, how did this person get in instead of this person? What was the actual process? For anybody that is wondering, well, was this invite? What way was it worked?
Yeah, like, people kind of have an idea or seem to think that it was an invite thing, but I suppose it was in a sense, but like, there isn't really that many lads in the country that would be up to that standard for the weight selection in the first place. You know, that would be able to come, because like, out of all the lads that are doing it, I think like they're more than capable of throwing around these weights for a couple of reps here and there, like, you know. Like, for invite, maybe with like Dave didn't run the comp last year, the year before, so it's hard to get a gauge of who's competing and who's here and there, like, you know, and who's coming up. Like, you know, you'd be going off asking lads, you know, and if somebody doesn't know what another lad is like, it's just like they're not going to get a chance to go out and show. Like, maybe like we were stuck for time too with comp, so like, you know, it was put out to people that were fucking ready to compete and knew that the comp was happening. Like, there could be one or two names there that could have been added to it, but overall I don't think there's many other lads that could have been thrown in there, like, you know. So
it was sort of a case of it was nearly an open invite for people to apply to actually do the comp to a point. To a point, like, it wasn't specifically, right, this is the athlete, we want these athletes, or
here's a list of names, we want these lads. I don't think so. So I don't, like, I definitely think, like, it was just a bit of an open invite sort of a job, like, because like, I see the way I'm looking at it too, it's an open comp to go to Britain's Strongest Man as an open, where you could have the possibility of coming up against a cunt like Tom Stoltman, you know. Like, like,
Tom, we don't think you're a cunt, just to clarify that.
Like, as we'd say in Ireland, you're a big cunt, so yeah. But like, it's not a bad thing, but like, you know, like, fucking 105s or 90s doing this comp, it's not going to make sense. They're not going to be able to go out there. Who's going to go out there and rep a 360 deadlift as a fucking, you know, an axle as well, because more than likely going to be an axle out there.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd be looking at it totally from an open point of view. You know, try and get sort of open lads in there, progress the open side of things, because like I was saying, there's any amount of weight class lads about and comps that suit them, like, you know.
The increase in all of these other comps, so the under 120s, and obviously we now have the official strongman, the weight categories for Ireland's Strongest Man. Do you think that will only push people further up the ladder into possibly going for those open class competitions?
Oh, it definitely will, because lads could do what they can do in categories, or think maybe I'm holding myself back with doing weight cuts or whatever, and even the thing about more comps coming on, and with yourself live streaming them and stuff, like it'll just get it out there more, and more people will see it and think, geez, I'll give that a go. So it could be some big cunt out there who says, like, geez, I'd like to give that a go, like, so like it's only by these things being on YouTube, being shared on Facebook or Instagram and stuff, that people see it. There could be some old bricklayer there in the middle of God knows where, like, well able to do this sort of stuff, like, like, you just don't know, and he doesn't know about the sport, like, so like that's what we're missing, like.
Now I always like to give the athletes a chance to mention the sponsors that they've got, because the sponsors mean that you can actually do the sport. Who are you sponsored by yourself?
Your man there in the corner.
That lad over there.
Yeah. Yeah, can you turn around the camera there now? Service Ireland have been with me since, how long, Matty?
I actually don't know, 3-4 years?
Since
now?
fucking,
that nearly sounds
since I
like-
won Republics. After I won Republics, wasn't it? Yeah. Is that all? We know each other a long time.
Yeah, it feels like I know you too long.
Yeah, so we're separated at birth, so we were, that's why.
It did sound like, when you said Matty, it did sound like it was nearly too long that you've been sponsored. It was like, Jesus.
your man there.
Facebook posts since then.
Hey, you sponsor a bunch of people that don't fucking post things, like it's your own fault. You need to take on people that do sponsor stuff as well, just to make up for myself and Killian and Aisha there, because she doesn't do fuck all either. She just gets away with it, so she does a bit better. Don't be singling me out here. I was going to say Strong Sports Nutrition Ireland column. Colin's been with me since, just I don't know how long.
Too long as well.
He's been since before that, I think. Has he? Well, I've been pestering him a long time, as long as I'm annoying this fella. So I have. Yeah. Colin, because I've been texting Colin since Colin started his thing with Strongman, asking about this product or that product. This is way before I was sponsored by him. So like, Colin took me on, and like, Colin's an absolute legend. Like.
He does so much for the sport. Like, I think if there's a competition, on,
I think he's involved in this.
He's one of those people that if he can get involved, if he can help, he is definitely there to help.
He's the
all
first
the
man
time.
in there too. Yeah.
He's been brilliant for our comps.
And I will put the link to Strom Ireland, Strom Sports Nutrition, in the description, and Cerberus as well. So click on over.
I was going to say PV's Bar in Longford too. They sponsor me.
Oh, there you go.
Sponsor me pints of stout. No, they don't sponsor me pints of stout, but they do. Barry does sponsor me, so PV's Bar there in Longford Town. So they do great food, and just a great spot for them night out. So.
And if anybody does want to follow you and follow your progress, they might see one post a year. But where would they see that post?
Yeah, they might see one post. It'll be something cool though. So they'll see that at Jack Harkin Strongman on Instagram.
Again,
the real original name, so it is.
We'll put that link in the description below. I did see recently you for the first time actually edited a video and put it up.
That was good, wasn't it?
That was impressive.
Yeah, that was real good, so it was. Yeah, that was me, it was all me, so it was. Yeah, took me half the day to do it, but yeah, it was like me.
He's trying to take over the live stream. He's trying to show, look, I can edit stuff as
Mark,
well.
Look what I can do, yeah.
Is that what you do when you're at work all day?
Don't be telling them that though. No. But so like, they might see an odd post here and there. I get good here and there, and then I don't. It's like you get into my head about it, so I do, or don't do training. It's like there's nothing happening exciting in training, so So it's just the way it goes. Like, but Jack Harkin Strongman on Instagram. Might change my name or something. Who knows? Something more exciting. Original Big Jack.
Big J. Yeah. Well, thank you very much for joining us.
No bother at all. Thanks for having me.
I know you're ready to go into the gym for a bit of training.
Go into town and train, and then come back out here to the shed and train stones, because I don't have stones in the gym in town, so I have to go in there to horsepower and do me log and loading and stuff like that, and then come back out the road and do stones here. So
it's a busy day for you, and you still have to finish your pint as well.
Has to be done, so there's only a mouthful left in that. So
well, there you go. You had to finish it on camera there. Well, thanks very much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for coming down.
Best of luck at the competition. 2 weeks time, and fingers crossed you'll be on that podium.
Hopefully, anyway, some shape or form.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks, everybody.
pissed on yourself or something?
There, here. No, I was opening a tin of tuna this morning and fucking oil went everywhere.
The fucking loud ones down at the back there now.
There, wished up you fair fuckers down there.
Just not listening to us at all there now.
Shut up! Just ignore us.
Oh, Jesus. Talk away, it's fine.
We used to do an interview. No way we kept quiet for hours.
How many pints of Guinness is every night?
Yeah.
How many
Is he
pints?
strong because of the iron in Guinness?
Yeah, Guinness makes you strong.
Okay, back
Is
it.
Matt the Pig going to beat you?
Absolutely not. Huh? Who?
I heard you're going to lose a chair.